Anne's doing wonderful, doing her dedicated homework and sending me lots of practice and doing great. Just wonderful, Anne.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep up the great work and just doing as much as you can as, get through it, right? And every chorus will definitely keep bumping you up, right? And then, of course, you can go back and revisit some that you were struggling with, or you want to try different brushes with, or you want to go back and try different color combinations. You start getting brave, right? So definitely you're going to always go back and revisit some of the areas from the program and then keep bumping yourself up. And then once you get through the whole 14 courses, and then, of course, with color theory, too, you've been asking me a lot of questions lately, and about color theory, how to make colors that you can't get. It's definitely, the more you play, the more you won't even need all that range. You just need the rainbow, and then you'll start really getting creative with your warm tones and your cool tones, adding white or dark, colors to get that balance of the tones that you're looking for, right? And then knowing the way we double load our brush with one stroke, definitely you're always going to get all those little gradient blends too. So all we need to really focus is trying to create like a darker version of any of the colors that we're looking for. And then being able to lighten it up with our white, with our gradients, and then popping in a little bit of yellow into our white, dirtying our white a little bit into different tones too, adding a little bit of neon pink into our white, adding a little bit of blue, or citrus green into our white, so that we can change all the different tones throughout the whole thing. And then that really helps when we're actually doing the stroke to create petals and leaves and stuff like that. So yeah.
Mandy, what's your thought on? I've got camel.
Yes.
Color. Changing that to coffee latte.
Okay, so yeah, the best thing, even for my own memory, I have to look at them to compare them. And often you'll see one is definitely a little bit more warmer or cooler than the other, and even just dirtying it sometimes with that little bit of blue will cool it, drop it down. Right? If it's looking a little too goldy, especially if you have to mix from Pablo or yellow ochre or stuff like that, you want to drop it down. You put blue into the cool, will neutralize warm tones. So what did you say? You had coffee latte and what?
I've got camel.
Camel, that's a little bit lighter.
It is lighter, yes.
Yeah, but they're both about the same kind of neutral to cool color. Definitely just darkening it just with a little bit of burnt umber. And then
Burnt umber,
yeah, burnt umber, or a little bit something softer if you have the bark brown. That's another common brown that's a little bit lighter than our burnt umber. Right? So if you don't have the bark brown, just again, you'll have to play with that white. But then I don't always recommend to put too much white in it to lighten things, because unless you want that lighter color, because once you start blending it with your white to do your blending, you'll start getting all those values of the tones, right? Yeah, so yeah, you'll be able to play with
just checking so that when I start the welcome plaque, I've got the right color.
Yeah, definitely. As you're loading it into your brush, just dip into that little bit of a darker brown every once in a while and deepen your gradient pile, and you can blend as you work. And then you'll get different tones of it. Sometimes you'll get a little darker, sometimes you'll get a little lighter, but it'll be nice when you start creating stuff, because then you get all those varieties in your painting. So I actually love making my own colors more than buying all of the different blends and depending on them the way they come out of the bottle. Yeah, you get definitely a lot more richer colors, and the blending of them, right? So yeah, definitely.
I'll have to do that because I can't get all the colors. Yeah,
so that's one of the things that I want to focus in with the series 4 too, with the designing aspect of all of it too. Like for you guys that are watching the replay, definitely we've already started into it. We've done the one class already, and we've played around with the welcome sign already. And definitely balancing back and forth with those cool tones and those warm tones to be able to create something that still balances, right? For something that's fall, but also can transition into some summer too, right? So definitely people who love sunflowers don't always feel like they want to always put something up just in the fall. They like to enjoy them all year round, you know. So definitely there is ways of balancing those two colors by introducing a little bit of those warm tones in there and neutralizing them a little bit so they're not too cool and they're not too warm. And yeah, so that's definitely one of the things I want to focus on during the series. Like a lot, we are like also designing in different shapes and different things for different reasons. We're going to be painting on 5 different surfaces. We're tackling wood, canvas, glass, fabric, cards, making mini cards, oversized canvases. You know, so we're going to be tackling all the different areas that we can get ourselves into different changes and things that we have to do differently because of the surface, and also, you know, the different types of ways that we want to do it. So I'm going to definitely want to share with you guys tonight, again, the process of the whole program, what we're doing, and definitely not too late to join us. The recording of the first class and all the practice and the project is on the site. And then I also got a bonus project for you guys to do. I always add something else to tie in the whole series together into something again, just to have another little bonus project to keep playing, right? So that is already there, actually, the bonus there for you guys to start playing with as well. So definitely I hope you guys will join us, more of you, and share this information with your friends and get them to come aboard. And I'll change it down here because it's a little easier for me to show you guys instead of putting it up here. Except for what's coming up next Tuesday, actually. I'll show you now while I got it up. Is this nice big vase that I painted on. Okay, so we're covering the art shape already. Just to recap. Right, the shape of the design, how you're laying your flowers out, like it's got a pattern and a focus to where it's going, right? And then there's also a lot of vertical, right? So it all depends on the different focal flowers and then filler flowers and then filler leaves and things like that, trying to build like a garden. Like you went into your garden, you picked all the flowers, and now you want to put it in like an arrangement, right? So definitely florists have a lot of studies of all kinds of different shapes that is available to them, their knowledge to be able to create flowers and sell them different times of the year. You know, horizontal, vertical, triangle shape is another one we're going to be tackling. And then also borders and different shapes, like my t-shirt, right? So I made this flower, like a flower arrangement, like you're holding it. And it's in a heart shape. Okay, so definitely we're going to be tackling all the different shapes throughout the whole program and also on different surfaces at the same time. So I'm really multitasking this series, guys. You're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be learning a lot of different brushes that you haven't played with yet. Definitely some, showing down here, a little bit of faux leather look. Played around. I'm reminding some of my gang there that I already made a video on YouTube. You'll have to go and check out, and there's 4 different backgrounds that I did, so you guys can get some of those ready. Pick your favorite 2 at least. And I already did a little quick video for you guys on this one here, so it has a really cool background on there too, like a faux leather look on there. And then I did the rose design on here, and it's more like a triangle kind of formation again, right? So there's lots of different examples I'm showing you through the program. You guys have already seen a lot of the intro part, and understanding now a little bit of all the direction that we're going to be focusing on, how to learn how to get these flowers to look nice together, merge together, picking colors, again, getting back to that color theory a little bit, what complements each other, what contrasts each other, how to lay out these colors and designs a little bit, right? Getting you into smaller brushes, down to your 6, down to your 8s, to create smaller as well as larger, right? So we're very comfortable with our size 12, some of us getting our 16s out, making nice big huge sunflowers. Well, I'm also going to get you guys making some tiny ones too, right? So definitely different size brushes. The more you can play around and get those sunflowers in all the different sizes, you know, playing with that comfort level is going to help you evolve through your practice as well, right? Trying to get the pressure right and changing according to the brush size. Right, so I got lots of videos on my YouTube, guys. You gotta go check through the Hot Topics list. There's loads and loads of different videos on different issues, different one I made just on changing all of the sizes of your brush down to that 12, 8, 10, 8, 6, you know, down to the 2. And being able to be really versatile in your creating your arrangements, lots of different styles. Okay, so those are the 2 little hexagons I did. And then I did another one here. And it's, again, depending on how the light hits it, the treasure gold really pops out. So I did a little bit of combination of leather and splotching a little bit for there. And then we also dive into like some faux techniques, like I said, with the leather. And then also about staining, how to stain, how to be able to treat your wood items, and sealers, all about sealers. And then also, if you've never done crackle, this is a really fun small project that you can do to test it out, see how you do, see if you like it. If you don't like it, then you can just paint over it, and it's not a big deal. It's just a little trinket box you got at the dollar store. Okay, so it was just like a plain wood before I started. And so yeah, we finished them all inside and out, showed you a bunch of different techniques and tricks and ways to be able to do some distressing kind of looks. And then this one's quite simple with the daisies around the side. Alright, so that's our little bonus 3 trinket boxes that you guys get with on top of the 5 projects. So this is actually 6 project videos that you actually get with this program. So you get the bonus one there. And then this under here is actually part of our MCT Paint Club, right? So it's a fun and easy project, guys. That's available. All the videos that we did in the past are still there in that vault, in that library that you can catch up on. And every month there's a new one that'll come. And this was last month for August. So next week on my page, if you follow my page, definitely I'll be sharing the next one that we're going to be doing for August. So they always arrive in the club around the 15th of every month. Alright, so we still have a few weeks away to wait for the next one, but definitely if you haven't tackled my sunset field, definitely, hopefully, I'd love to see it. Tag me, share it, send me pictures. And so let me know if you need any information about that on my site. If you have any questions, joining, if you have any problems, always feel free to message me, guys. Alright, so definitely we're going to be tackling the glass next week. And then the 3rd class is going to be the big canvas. And I have started it. Like I said, this is a pre-launch special that I'm offering because it's in the making. You guys are helping me make it. You're wanting to practice. So I'm making these projects. You guys are getting to see it. We're getting to meet before you get the video of this. And then that way we can really break down the whole project together and practice together live on Zoom. Right, so it's a practice and paint series. So the projects are all pre-recorded, so you can watch these a little at a time and tackle them on your own time. But definitely all your questions, all your struggles, you're trying to practice some of these things. We broke them all down and gave you a whole whack of practice sheets. Breaking down all of these project items, right, all the different effects that we're going to be doing. And yeah, like if I lost count, guys. It's almost just as bad as my program now. It's huge. All right, so many examples, so many options. All right, so I'm playing around with this one here and the next one, and also playing around with a little bit more fall flowers, like dried flower arrangement looking. All right, getting some fall colors out. We've already tackled sunflowers. Here's some sheets from the bonus, and more U-shape examples, some card examples, right? All the different flowers and hoops, everything is all upside down. Bumping up our pansies, right? A little bit more peony style pointed flowers. A lot of flowers, not necessarily only peonies, have that little ball where they're just starting to open up. right? And then all their feathers. So there's so many different flowers out there. So I'm really not focusing on any types in particular, just kind of playing around with all the extreme ways of playing with your brush and getting it to look differently the way our petals can look, you know, making them more round, more wiggly, more rocky, definitely bumping you up to stronger, you know, harder strokes, and then definitely being able to lighten, layer, and play around with different color combinations, different types of filler flowers, right? Lots of different options. Again, reminding you of all the different ways of doing daisy strokes. Like, I'm not talking about any particular type of daisy here. I'm just talking about the daisy stroke and what can you do with it and how many different flowers can we make with it. You know, so many different types of centers, so many different color combinations. Playing around with dark backgrounds, light backgrounds really makes a difference too. Some people are struggled with working on black. Some people definitely are struggled on cardstock, period. So we'll be tackling a lot of the different issues, right? Playing around with some of our borders, breaking down those strokes for you so that you understand how to do them. We'll be meeting on Zoom for all those classes live, right? Getting you ready to understand how to do the breakdown of all these different shape designs. So you see the difference between a vertical and you see a little difference between the triangle. Right? Does that make sense to you guys? Where I'm going in this direction? Because our last 3 series, we definitely focused on types of flowers. What did the leaves look like for that flower? And how does it stand out of the garden? And just basic concept of how to build that flower. So this series is specially built, is about building. Building your bouquets. Right? What looks good together, combinations. Again, playing around with extremes with that daisy stroke, and definitely bumping up our sunflowers. And so I'm just quickly kind of going through all the different sheets that we've gone through, and that you guys are going to be getting all in your PDF. You can print them out or just look at them as needed. All right, so lots and lots of sheets, and there's still, I'm not done. There'll be more because we still have 4 more classes that we'll be doing live together, and any of the sheets that I create in those classes, I definitely put them all into the PDF as well. All right, so we're definitely going to be concentrating on some cards, and then I've got one little example here for you too, but I've got more coming on these 2 guys, and I'm going to be finishing that big 16 by 20. So you got lots of versatility in this series to help teach you all the different realms. Like, you're not just focused on the same size brush all the time. Different types of backgrounds. So does that sound good, guys? Does that sound like fun and something that, you know, that'll help you with a lot of your future stuff? Like, I want you guys to be able to feel comfortable to build your own designs. You can pick any flower. You can pick any, if you want to do a rose, if you want to do a sunflower, if you want to do a daisy, like, it doesn't matter, but make, you know, you can make all those decisions on what you want to do once you learn the foundation of building the arrangement shapes, right? And sticking to that kind of design aspects. And then some of those design aspects look better on some things than others. So that's why I definitely chose the heart for the fabric, and I picked some nice tall vertical arrangements for the big tall vase. You know, so there is different shapes of designs and of all these things that definitely look better in certain ways than others, right? So definitely so much fun, and I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I'm finally getting everything together. I know it's been something that I had to just go ahead and launch and work on it, and then I had no choice to get it done. Because as far as I've been doing for the last year, I've been, okay, I got to get this done, get it prepared, and get it all ready for you, and then launch it and tell you about it. And then it was just, I couldn't get it all done. So yes, there's lots and lots of things there that I want to play with you guys through this. And opportunities again every 2 weeks that we're going to do it, slow it down a little bit instead of once a week, and then that way you'll have more time to practice and get that project done, play around with, because again, from our last series, a lot of you guys felt a little bit crunched with time, figuring, you know, to practice and get the project done before the next week. So this time you guys got 2 weeks to play a little bit more, and then also play around in the club and do some other playing and practicing and other classes and visit your family and all kinds of other things that we need to juggle into our lives. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to get this one launched finally. And like I said, you guys are helping me design it, because with all the feedback, you're definitely helping me create this, because out of some of the things that you guys have been struggling with through the program or through all my last series. And then we can still build on that too and keep bumping you guys up. So did I answer a lot of those questions that you had? Definitely let me know if you have any other questions at all. You have the messenger chat too that we built for all the gang that is signed up. Thank you again for you guys that I have. And definitely more room is available. You can come on in at the 135 the 135 price, special price, because it goes up to 175 for the whole package deal. And then they are available separate as downloadable, but then you know how package deals are. It's always better to get that, because then it's always cheaper in the end. So hopefully you'll jump on the pre-launch sale that we're doing right now. Join us on Zoom and come practice with us and create some really cool stuff.
I was going to say that a lot of the good painters were once working in the flower industry.
Yeah.
Because they that design from flowers, and then they carry it over to their painting.
Yeah, because they understood the structure of the shaping, where they were going, right? And also when you're using a vessel, like trying to paint a vase or like a box or, you know, any kind of shape, because there's so many different shapes of vases, right? So the proportion to get the balance right, you know, is a little bit of a science. So definitely I'm not digging into that much. I'm definitely only going to be focusing on the main 5, maybe 6. Like there's like an S pattern kind of a little bit too, that you can kind of shape things around. But yeah, definitely they have a lot of science behind it. And then also knowing all the colors of the flowers that looked good together. And then they have like picky flowers and then big round flowers. Like they have a focus, right? There's definitely, you can Google and get some information on, you know, flower arrangements and styles, and really, you can see some really cool arrangements. Definitely, we already did in our first class. We went Googling together just to kind of see, you know, get an idea of. Then now when we look at an arrangement because a lot of us look at these arrangements, go, oh, I'd love to paint that, and then you're not really understanding the shape behind it that they're trying to follow, and then you end up somehow lost, and you know, trying to keep your thing self-proportioned. You know, it can be tricky sometimes, and then maybe putting too many flowers or too many different colors that are clashing or not enough, you know, to balance everything. You know, so it's definitely a little bit of a science to all of that. Never even mind picking up your paintbrush, right? You haven't picked up your paintbrush yet. And you're trying to figure out, what am I going to do? What can I put together? You know, so yeah, definitely there's sometimes a little bit of balancing to understand. So definitely we're going to play on paper and figure all that out, and then lots of different options, play some really easy strokes, and then bump it up definitely harder. And then when we get ready to do the project, you know, you'll understand the science of it. And then you'll be able to make more decisions how you want to change it, how you want to put different flowers or make different colors.
Your arrangements works really good on trying to figure out how to place it on greeting cards too.
Yeah, definitely. And as this is the season coming up, Christmas, nice to make your own cards. And we're going to definitely dedicate, you know, down to that size, because when you go and fold a piece of cardstock in half to make the average card, you want to do that with this one. You know, you definitely got to downsize your brush, right? You're going to make little tiny ones. So 8s are very popular. 8s and 10s, right? Trying to get it down. Especially we've been playing around on 12 by 14 canvases and 16 by 20 canvases, right? And then you start trying to get down smaller, and then you're working on cardstock that's drier, right? Especially if you get this cheaper stuff. If you get a little higher quality that's thicker, sometimes a little smoother and easier to paint on, but it's still cardstock, it's still dry. So yeah, definitely want to cover a little bit more of those areas and then come up with some more ideas. We did do another series all on cards, so there's lots of great ideas. I don't really want to duplicate too much on that, but this time I definitely am focusing on what we put on those cards are going to be geared to the shapes that we're going to be studying throughout the series. Right? How to get, room to be able to put some words in there too. So yeah, hopefully it'll all tie together at the end and you'll have so many different tools in your little paint box to be able to create on anything. You're going to feel confident to be able to paint on fabric, paint on glass, paint on anything. And then after every class, like the next class will be our second class, the first thing we're going to do is troubleshoot the last class. Okay, how did you guys do? Did you have any problems? So I'm following up with you on every class. So then that way, if you want to show me what you did, and if you have any questions, then you're able to kind of get some feedback with me by showing me on Zoom too, so I can see more. But definitely you guys always have the option to show me pictures. So yeah, you can get that immediate feedback when you meet me on Zoom. And a lot of my VIPs know that anytime, just have to let me know when can we meet, and we can meet on Zoom and have a private little session, and I'll be able to see what you're doing. And a lot of them have their camera that they can point down on their table so that I can actually see, oh, you don't have enough pressure. Oh, where's that paint? Oh my God, that's too gloopy. Try and get some off of there. Or you don't have enough paint on there. There's always some sort of feedback or something, that third eye, having that little extra vision, like seeing you in action, right? I can't say enough for that. If I can't be there in person with you holding your hand, then definitely if there's any way that you can get your camera pointing down to your desk and you contact me, I'll be able to help you, right? See what you're doing, get the paint out. Maybe it's how you're picking it up off the plate, maybe it's the surface that you're trying to deal with. So yeah, I got lots of experience on all these different surfaces and definitely want to share a lot of my experiences with that. I do have a lot of extra projects in my project library that I've already focused a little bit here and there on certain things. It's just here's the pattern, kind of layout and do it. But this series I definitely want to get into the science of things a little bit more. Why would you place these flowers where you're putting them? So yeah. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of practice there. I know a lot of my VIPs here tonight are part of that here, and so I'm not sure if you guys have any other questions, because I'm tackling lots of them right now for our hot
I just
topics.
love your trinket boxes. I think those are so cute.
Yeah, definitely got to get some more of them. And being a market, like I've been making these big vases that take so much room and they're heavy, and I got to wrap them up and put them in my truck and bring them to the market, and half of them get broken or whatever, scratched. And then I got to start thinking smarter and making some more smaller little things. And cheaper things sometimes sell too, for you guys that are doing markets. I know a few of you are.
I forget how to crackle, so I'm glad you put one of those in.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't done it before, it's just a small little easy project. You can definitely go bigger. I played around with them on a big flower pot in one of my projects. You guys have that in your paint club too, if you want to go back and look at some of these old videos. Or maybe you just found me and you didn't realize that I have all these videos. Definitely go and check out my online course library. And there's so many different pictures there that I made in a little album so that you can see what's actually in the club. And then if you just want them downloadable just individually, then definitely jump on the downloadable library. Everything is in there. Everything is in there, and it's available separate as a downloadable. So yeah, I do have different libraries that you're able to watch the videos on my site. And you don't have to download them. You can just watch them. Just download the PDF with the pictures and print them out from my site too. You don't even have to save them, because so many people are on their iPads now or their cell phones, and there's no memory on there. So definitely, if you just need to look at these visuals and take a look at the way I broke things down, and on my PDF I have little arrows everywhere and reminding you of what colors I used and the brush sizes I used, and everything is all going to be in the PDF. Right, so you just can look at it sometimes is enough, and then just print out the sheets that you really, really need. Just pop into a little plastic sleeve, and then especially next week we're going to be doing glass painting. Then it's really good to be able to practice on some plastic, so that you get the idea of how slippy that glass is going to be compared to cards, compared to wood. right? So you're definitely going to have the extremes of all these different surfaces. And every one of them, you can do beautiful flowers on these cards and then get to the glass and then you're like, what happened? Right? So yeah, definitely there's some differences. And while we're really playing around with all these differences, this is what's the aha moments are gonna come somewhere. And for me, it was from fabric. When I started painting on fabric, that's when I started painting better on cards. Because it's so dry with this fabric, you gotta really push that paint in. And then when I got to the cards, it was like still had that mentality to treat it like a fabric and push that paint in, go grab more when I need it. And then my cards came out beautiful. I don't get any frayed edges and I get nice color and my gradients are wonderful. And, you know, I just don't stop playing with it until I like it. I'm stubborn that way, maybe. I don't know. But it definitely does come with playing around and perseverance and learning the different struggles that we could have while we're trying to work on all the different surfaces. All right, so yeah, definitely great feedback from you guys that are already on it. If you have any questions at all while you're here about the last class, definitely
The trinket boxes, are they all wood or are they cardboard, the heavy cardboard?
No, they're actually wood. Yeah, they're like the press wood. Very, very thin wood.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see them in the video when you watch it. They're just from the dollar store. They have all these little wooden items down in the art section that kids can paint on or whatever. And they're just plain wood. Sometimes they have the little signs that you can hang on your door, but they're empty. Like
Yes.
It's just that kind of wood. It's very thin press wood. But yeah, they're cute. They're all painted now, so it's kind of hard to tell. But in the middle, yeah, I just did a stain look on top of the light wood. It's a very light color. So with it staining it makes it a little bit more rich looking and maybe like oak or something higher quality. Right? Oh yes, it's a fine piece here. You're getting a steal of $25. It took me, well, this one took me a little longer, so you got to pay for these special effects. But definitely this one here, I meant to make quicker and easier, right? So we have choices of how much time
Do
you want
you
to
seal
spend.
those afterwards or not?
Yeah, I'll put them in my market.
No, but do you varnish them or anything? Put a sealer
Yes, yeah, definitely.
afterwards?
Yeah. I like to use the Folk Art Outdoor.
Okay.
It comes in matte, semi-gloss or gloss. Just depends on the sizes and what you can get. But yeah, it's definitely one of my go-tos that I use. Sometimes I have used different cement ones, like outdoor wood ones.
If you're using multi-surface, do you have to seal it?
No, you don't. But on top of crackle, you do, because your flower will keep cracking in those spots. So yeah, I'll explain through the whole video. Definitely, you guys got to watch that. But definitely, you got to seal it before you paint your design, so then it doesn't crack. Actually, Donna just did a video on crackle too, not too long ago, explaining all that too. And then also another reason I would also add a sealer just for a little extra protection is when you're using it as like a sealer, a stain, right? So Folk Art also has like stain products that you can use as stain. You wipe it on, you put it on and you wipe it off, just like furniture stains, but it's water based. And you can also just use any kind of Folk Art paint, like I just used burnt umber, really washy, put it on, wiped it off. Well, when you water the paint down that much, it doesn't have very much sealer in it anymore, no tooth. So if I went in with a wet cloth, or, like this, I could probably remove some of that stain that I put on there. So definitely you have to put a little sealer on this because it's just so water-based that any kind of rub rubbing or getting it wet, like I say, it got dusty or dirty or whatever, and somebody wanted to wash it out, highly unlikely, but it's a trinket box. But if you, on the outside here, definitely if you want to dust this down, and if I didn't have a sealer on here, I might remove some of that stain. It might wet it down and dilute it and wipe away the darkness. So yeah, there is a chance of it happening. So definitely to put a coat of sealer over it will make it a little bit more durable. So then if somebody did want to take a wet cloth to wash it off, say it got dusty over years and 20 years down the road, and it's at the back of your dresser somewhere, and you found it to give it, oh yeah, here you go, you can have this to your granddaughter. I painted this 15 years ago. Let's get the dust off of it. Yeah, it'll definitely be a little bit more durable for you. Just having that extra little coat on it. But if I always use the outdoor, even though is you can get indoor, outdoor, but I always feel outdoor is more durable, and it gives me a little bit more feel that I can wipe it down a little bit more, even though it's not going outside. And then that way I don't have to buy 2 sealers. I just buy one. I use it on everything. So, but you don't need sealer for glass. You definitely, the paint is wonderful all by itself, and you wouldn't water it down that much on that kind of thing, unless it's, again, trying to do frost. Then you need a proper medium to put in with your color so that it'll stick to the glass. So water won't do it. You have to do. So we'll definitely go over all the different mediums. Like we said, we're going to be focusing on all the different surfaces one at a time. And I'm going to show and play with you all the different ways of all the things that we can do on them and all the different ways we can design them. What kind of shape are you going to put on that item? If you guys, I already had a couple questions last time, which was wonderful. One of our students had a nice cutting board, right, with a handle style, and then it comes down long. And a lot of people are wanting to use them for serving. And if you paint the whole thing, then you feel like you can't put food on the paint. And we've talked about that even in Donna's group, where people are putting wax paper on it, so then that way the food's not touching the painted part, right? So, and then you don't want the paint lifting off with the oil, getting wrecked. So what we're talking about is just doing that little border design, a little bit more arch around the top of it, so that way it's decorating just the top part. She can still hang it up and look nice. And then also the bottom part is still left, with all the clear part of the wood, so you can still put food here, and then you're just gonna put the design here and then have some maybe come up your handle, right? So definitely, I've got all kinds of maybe wacky ideas if you need help with. You show me your stuff that you have during the series while we're there live asking questions about the practice. Definitely that's a great time to pick my brain about any surfaces that you have. I have a jean jacket instead of a t-shirt. I have a vase that's already painted as ceramic instead of a clear glaze. There's so many little variables. So definitely we'll go and jump on all kinds of different scenarios as well that can happen, and make sure that you guys feel comfortable about all the surfaces that you are painting on.
So what sold the best at market this weekend?
Oh, I've been selling a little bit of everything. I just haven't had the chance to get out there, so I've had so much for so long. I sold my sunflowers finally. What else sold last weekend? My gnome that I made on a stake. I had 3 of those, 3 other ones, and they're gone already. So the gnomes on wood did sell good. I sold a few paintings, a few of the classes that I did on Donna's that I sold. Sun catchers I've been selling, and definitely my gallery glass. My glass block I sold last week. Remember the one that put light in it? Was glass blocks. It was kind of star kind of pattern. Yeah, I sold that last week. And so yeah, I've sold at least 5 different of my gallery glasses already. And they're just a little challenging to pack up together because they will dent. If I had a frame sitting on one of them, and I got a line right where the frame was denting. And I was really upset about that part. So, but the good part was I was able to take the razor blade and go cut it all out and then apply my gallery glass back in there again and touch up the little spot. So, and then wrapping it with bubble wrap wasn't a good idea because then all the little bubbles were. So I'm learning all the things not to do, I'm telling you. Normally we would put it on the window, and you don't even think about putting a bunch of things together and storing it in a bucket and, bringing it to markets, and whatever doesn't sell has to come home and then put in storage. And so I'm at a point now where I don't want to make anymore. I love doing it. I really did have a lot of fun, but I have so much in stock now that I have to find homes for. And until I narrow down that stock a bit more, I've just got to work on that first before I start making any more, because there is definitely some more creations I'd love to do with that gallery glass. It's just I don't have the room to store them all, and I don't have the windows either. So how many can you put in your window? So definitely I am loving the markets and making things for the markets, but definitely I have to kind of watch my inventory, what I have room for, how I'm going to pack it to put it away when it's waiting for these opportunities to put out to sell, right? Because I'm in a tiny little apartment now, so everything is just on top of each other. I look like a hoarder. That's an art. I have art supplies everywhere.
I would think your trinket boxes would be the popular sale.
Yeah, and this is where I'm trying to think smaller.
Yeah, a little cheaper, smaller, and everybody.
Yeah,
likes
and everybody
boxes.
likes to have a little something to make them feel good, and not everybody wants to pay, $800 for my big lily painting. Right, so yeah, definitely there's a market for everything, but definitely smaller items. I'm noticing, if you can stick around the $20 to $40 mark, $40 is like the most common thing that I've been selling for a price tag. Like they want something nice, but they don't want it too cheap, not like a $10 thing. Like marking it that down, unless it's like a Christmas ball, then you can definitely make some of the Christmas balls for like $10, $15. Depends on the time you put in them. How many crystals do you glue on things? How many steps is the process? Like crackle, specialty products, specialty, applications that you're taking more time on. You definitely gotta, kind of keep an eye on the clock and how long it's taking you.
Do you only do the markets in Goderich, or do you travel further afield?
Oh, it's so hard to travel with them because if they start at 7 o'clock to set up, and then you got a 2-hour drive to get there before and then the market starts at 8 in the morning, then, it's a very early, long drive, a lot of work. And then after a long day in the heat and weather, you got to drive 2 hours home. So yeah, I'm grateful that I have a really nice tourist town. It's bad because it dies in the winter, but in the summer, it's crazy busy. And every weekend we have a lot of tourists. So yeah, I'm lucky that I don't have to go too far. And right in our little local downtown area, we have a perfect spot, and it's like a roundabout. So everybody drives around in a circle. Well, all our tents are around in a circle, so people can walk around, right? And then they have like a little stage area where they have bands, and different performers come and do their thing there, and different events. And we have a salt mine. If you guys have Sifto salt, if you have a box of salt in your cupboard, even you guys down in the States, go and look, and you'll see Sifto on the side of your box for your table salt. It was made here in Goderich. Right, so right now, this weekend coming up is a big salt festival. So they're allowing people to go down into the mine, check it out for free. There's a little tour they're doing this weekend for free for people to go down in the mine. And there's like a city down there, like underneath the lake. If that ever had an earthquake and a crack, they would be washed out. There's a city down there. Like, I don't know how many levels, like a building underground. Like how many, it's got a skyscraper, but underground. It's really neat to see some of the footage and information about that. And then so again, there's a lot of food trucks going on this weekend, and Butterfly Park is a big thing here in Goderich as well. They all concentrate here before they start going down south, and this park is just full. Like you can't even see the picnic table, the wood, because it's just all orange with monarch butterflies. So Goderich has a lot of little areas, and we have a big historic jail here. A lot of really neat things to come and visit. So I'm very, very lucky that I live in a good town that has a lot of movement. And then we have all our farms around here, so the farmers market is around. Everybody comes for the vegetables and fruit and all the baking and wonderful food things, honey and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's always adventure, and then it dies all down in the winter. So yeah, that's part of it too, through the summer, trying to build up this course. I thought, well, soon we'll be slowing down, and we can get this done in the fall, and then hopefully we'll still have some Christmas projects to do after, right? Holiday stuff. And remember that I have done lots in the past. I have been doing this for about, I don't know, 6 years or more. And so I do have a lot of courses that are, you just gotta go check out in my libraries and look past. Done a lot of seasonal stuff, different falls, designs. You guys are getting into fall now. Definitely look into some of my old stuff and get inspired to buy some of that.
I was intrigued with your garden ornament redos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially, I think it was a basset dog.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
the mensch. Yeah, he was a big cement dog that they actually, I guess it got thrown in the, it was starting to lose paint, and I don't know how kids are, right? They just throw things in the pond. Well, I guess they cleaned out some pond or whatever, they drained it out or whatever, and then they ended up finding this big lump, and they pulled it out and found out that it was a statue of a hound dog. And then, because they had hound dogs, somehow they got this, and brought it to me. And so I repainted it, fixed it all up, and brought it back to life. So yeah, that's just with my folk art paints. Definitely, there's some surfaces like metal. I'll have to get some trem clad out to give it a base coat on to get rid of the rust. But definitely, that's all I used was my multi-surface on that cement. And then I did put outdoor sealer on it because it's going to live outside. They're going to put it away in the winter, but yeah, so I didn't have to go buy special paint for it. I just used...
What sealer do you use for outdoor?
I don't know what companies you may have there, but this one I use stuff for outside. I played around. Oh, let me go grab another one. Definitely, I like to support folk art all the way. But there's times that there's some items that might be a reason or whatever I have to do it. So definitely there's, I like the word definitely. I had to stop saying it. I don't know, but I listen to myself in recording. I'm like listening how many times I say definitely. It's my favorite word. I'm sorry if it bothers you. Definitely. This is one of my favorite sprays. I'm really, really sure about it, okay? That's why it's definitely.
Yes, we have that.
And if it's not definitely, well, then maybe just, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. But if I'm saying definitely, I mean, like, it's 100%. Definitely. 2 times Rust-Oleum. Minwax makes another one, but they don't make a good one for outdoor. It's mostly for furniture items, like if I'm doing my piano bench or a little side table or something like that, a little bit bigger, and I need bigger quantities. And definitely, this is definitely, I'm aware of it now. You guys are gonna laugh every time you're definitely. I should have a contest and have how many times did I say definitely in this one presentation. Whoever got it right, I'll give them a free project. So yeah, there's different styles, polyacrylics, and then this one was one that I've been using the longest. But sometimes they, depending on your humidity where you live, this can be sticky for a long time. So that's the problem with some of the items. I'm trying to find the English side. That's French. All right, and then again, this is outdoor. Right, and this is the gloss. So sometimes I like high gloss, sometimes I like matte, sometimes I like semi-gloss, and your paints are all semi-gloss, but sometimes you like that look of a matte, So if you go and spray it with a matte sealer or brush on a matte sealer on top of your semi-gloss, it'll dull it all down. And that's what I like doing on some of my surfaces, is putting that sealer on there to matte it all down. And then when you go and put your painting on there, your painting is a little bit more brighter because it's with a semi-gloss and it's sitting on a matte. So again, I'm covering all kinds of tricks with you. I'm just really quickly, layman terms, kind of explaining everything I'm sharing with you guys, but I'm definitely going to show you, and you'll be able to see everything through the series. Especially with these little trinket boxes. That was a great example for some of those questions. Yeah. So those are the ones that I have in stock here that I've used in the past. And but I do like the folk art one too, because it's the one I got that's matte right now. So I've been playing around with the adding matte to the design, like on purpose. I want that matte look. And you won't get the durability. So if you use the regular paint that isn't multi-surface, then you won't get the durability the same way. And you can only paint on maybe wood, then you need a sealer on top, or just canvases is fine to use the regular on. But you definitely need the multi-surface for glass, even metal, like the tin buckets and things like that, and birdhouses, wood items. So this is definitely the versatile. And then depending on what medium you put in there, like if you get the textile medium, then you'll be able to put that with your paint and then be able to paint on fabric, and then it's going to be really nice and soft, right? So it's made to last so it doesn't crack. Because if you go and put some paint on plastic and then you go and bend it in half, it'll crack. So it's like putting like a conditioner in the paint that helps it adhere to the fabric and then be flexible. And then there's another medium again that we're going to put with the paint, so then that way it's more durable on glass. Alright, so there's an enamel series of paints that you can get. There's I don't know if they're still carrying a lot of different colors, but it only has the glass only, and that's the highest shine. So you can definitely, if you're a glass painter, die-hard glass painter, that's all you wanted to paint on, and you want to invest in this. This has got the highest shine, and the highest shine has got the more durability, because the higher the shine, the less porous it is, and then it'll be more durable. So higher shine will be more durable. Sometimes it's too shiny, so I do like the semi-gloss. I think we lost Sue.
That is gorgeous. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So get out in the thrift stores, start looking for some items that you want to paint on, renew, reuse, reinvent. That's what I always say. I like
You mentioned that when you do your t-shirt, you need a textile medium.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There is different mediums. There's a floating medium. There's textile medium. There's a flow medium for glass, which I hardly ever use. Just because I like the paint just out of the bottle and doesn't need it. And there's a blending gel. That's good for keeping your paint open longer. And then they even have a glazing medium and the crackle medium. Okay, so you can get all the favorite colors of paints you want in the multi-surface, and then just make sure that you have the different mediums for the surface that you're going to paint on.
Okay.
Like I said, the glass, you really don't need the flow so much. As long as you have good fresh paint, it's multi-surface, it's wonderful. Where you really need it is fabric. You definitely need some textile medium for fabric. It makes a difference. Otherwise, I've made a mistake and grabbed the wrong. I was using blending gel by accident because the bottles look the same and I'm half blind. So I got through the whole project and then I realized I was using the wrong one. And it's stiff. It's stiffer than what I expected it to be. But it still was fine. It's still lasting. But it's also on a jacket that I'm not going to wear very often. Like it's a jean jacket, so it's kind of okay. Or, you know, so definitely on a t-shirt it's a little bit, you want to, oh no, it was the t-shirt that I did. It was the t-shirt I messed up. I used the wrong medium on it. But it still worked. Just the really stretchy fabric is going to maybe crack when it stretches. Yeah, there's always going to be something that is going to happen, just to kind of mess you up. But yeah, definitely the mediums are very important to get.
Well, if you make mistakes like that, there's hope for the rest of us.
Yeah. If you make a mistake, and I probably have already done it 5 different ways, because I'm not afraid to play, and you know, just go with the punches and go, okay, now what do I do? Well, I got 2 choices, and I'm gonna make it right now. Either gonna erase it all, or I'm gonna keep adding to it, because once it's dry, it's there. So I gotta make that decision now. And you'll see me do that in a lot of my videos. Like, well, I think I better wipe that off right now. Start over. And we can, you know, and that's what I'm hoping, that not only to perfect your stroke work, is also knowing how to get out of trouble. All right, and what to expect, and get through some of those challenging areas and try to make it easier for you, right? Not complicate it. And like I've done, trying to self-teach myself, and of course I go and try all the hardest stuff, and then it doesn't work, and wondering why. And so then I'm like, okay, now I understand. Now I have to kind of pick certain things for certain, like I said, fabric again has its own challenges. Why am I gonna try and build, 16-layer rows on it? It's gonna be a challenge because of the fabric. So I can do it beautiful on other surfaces, but I may not pick fabric for that. So again, I'm sharing all my insights of all the different things that can go wrong on all through the series, for sure. Bloopers.
When you painted your t-shirt, what did you use for stability underneath it to give it a surface?
Well, I do have a couple videos, I think, still on my YouTube that talk about fabric and gives you a bunch of different ideas of cardboards that I've used,
Okay, yep.
corrugated signs, embroidery hoops, like those sewing embroidery hoops.
Okay.
I don't have any too handy right now, but do you know what I'm talking about? Those sewing hoops? I show you in the video for sure. Okay, so I did record this and the whole process, and from how to mount it, to hold it in place, and how to deal with it, and everything is all in the video for you. Yeah, for this one. It's a coming for you, but this is the last class. So those videos I haven't put on the page yet until we do the class. So that way I keep you guys focused. If I give you too much, you might get ahead of me. All right, so next week I have the video for the vase done. So we're going to meet on Zoom. And then after the class, I'll be putting this video up. And then also editing our practice video. And then I'll be putting all that on the site. And then you guys can focus on this for 2 weeks. And then the third class, that's what I'm trying to hurry up and get this done. We're going to do a triangle shape on that. So I've got my vase done, my background's done, that's all I've got done. So I still got more to add to that, obviously. Where's the flowers? All right, so give you a sneak peek of what's coming. Look at that background, isn't it dreamy? I kind of look back and went, wow, did I do that? So yeah, every once in a while you get these brainstorms of
Almost
color.
looks like there's a storm picking up.
yeah, I don't know where I got inspired.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely trying to, because one of the series was definitely a little bit more spring flowers, summer flowers. So being this time of year, I am trying to do a little bit more fall designs, right? And then also one of the biggest challenges of paint colors are a lot of the yellows and oranges. So with the fall colors brings all these colors, right? So definitely I'm focusing on, you know, a lot of the fall colors, but it's also helping you with the challenges of them. So, and playing with my Pueblo. I went and named my cat Pueblo. Pablo.
You didn't call him Pablo, did you?
Yeah, I did. Pablo.
You
Nobody can say it. And they're like, what? Pablo? What is he, Mexican? Nobody knows it's a paint color. And they're all like, are you whacked? What is that? Well, they said the same thing when I called my son Gunner. So it's not like the normal Tom or Joe or Mark or Steve. I have to be different, right? Annie already had her name when I got her, so I didn't have the heart to change her name. But I had the opportunity, and he was like identical. I put my paint bottle towards his little stripes, and he's wicker white and Pueblo. So he doesn't matter what I call him, kitty, baby, buddy, sweet, you know, whatever. He's not answering to any of it right now. He's so headstrong. He's 4 months, actually, 16 weeks exactly. I took him to the vet today, got his shots, and all that deworming, because he never seen any vet yet since he was a kitten. So of course he had worms and all that stuff. So now he's taken care of, he's safe, and I got their flea meds and taken care of, and too much money later. Yeah, so he got to see the vet today. And they're sleeping it off now. They got their rabies shots and all that fun stuff today.
The text that I sent you yesterday in regard to the dandelion, you sent a message back to say that I'd filled it in too much.
Maybe didn't I use a little bit more floating medium in those petals to make it a little bit more translucent? Because those flowers are very see-through.
Yes.
And that just looked like there was a lot of coverage. Like it was too much paint. So just making it a little bit more translucent. And then you're taking advantage of your background color through it. Right? And just on paper, you're not going to see too much. But once you do that on blue or green background, you'll get to see those undertones through the translucent white, and then you'll get to see a little bit more see-through petals.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and very, very light ticks.
Yes.
Isn't it? I haven't seen that. I haven't played with those in a while because I did that so long ago. But yeah, I do remember that the translucent is part of that trick. And then because it's on paper, you're just not getting the whole look maybe until you get it on green. Yeah. Try again. Paint some green down like you're pretending like you're doing grass. And then try and do it again and see if you can see that the color pop through your dandelion fluffies. Do you have dandelions in Australia?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I know you were saying some of our flowers you don't.
Because what we do is we just pick them and we blow them. See?
Yeah. So they're lots of fun to play with the kids, and they're edible too. So definitely the sunflower is really good for you. Yeah. So if you've seen them, then if you get really close up to them, then you get to see every little star on each end of every little seedling, right? That goes and flies away, but we're that wildflower concept was you're looking at it, 6 feet back, so you're just seeing a little puff. You don't have to get into too much detail there, right? In that particular project. But I've seen some other painters do really close-ups of dandelions, and you can actually see each seed, and every little starburst of fluff coming off each one. It's kind of neat. Maybe it'll inspire me to try that too one day. We'll do an oversized dandelion seed. I'll work on that for spring.
I guess we just don't classify them as a wildflower.
Well, yeah, they're weed, wildflower.
Yeah.
You know, wildflowers become weeds because weed is only a flower that has landed in the wrong spot. Right? Did you catch that? That's my
Yeah,
quote of the day. That's all a weed is. It's because you didn't plant it and you don't want it there. But they look wonderful over there. They can go in the field all they want. I love them over there. Not over here. So when they're a nuisance, definitely, you know, then they become a weed. But they're all beautiful. And they're wild because they came up on their own. So I guess maybe how literal you take that term of wildflower or weed.
Yeah.
Right? For me, they're kind of both the same. But definitely around the like English and Irish and maybe with the English part of Australian, maybe some parts of the States have some different accents. You know, maybe they call different things different, like the boot of the car is the trunk, you know, so we all have different ways of saying different things, I guess. I don't know, I'm Canadian. I got Scottish and I got French in me, and I'm dyslexic. So excuse me if I ever get anything messed up because it's not my fault.
Just mixed up.
That's right. I blame my mother and my father, society. Being Canadian, I don't know. Too much snow, 40 below weather. I don't know. But yeah, it's been wonderful chatting with everybody. I was hoping to always wanting to play and do some demos with you guys. But I know I do got a lot going on here with you guys to giving you lots of practice. And then you guys hopefully can share that video and please comment on them too. And share how you're liking it. But we really, really appreciate it. And I'll get back to working on finishing these designs for you so you guys can see all of the final projects, what you got to look forward to.
Have you seen the wood grain tool that you can buy to make look like faux wood?
Painting, it's plastic.
It's a tool that you can buy to slide down over your paint
I have
to
one.
make it look like wood grain.
Where the heck do I have
I've got one of those. It works pretty good.
it? It does.
Yeah, I got one too. Here it is. I got one. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they work great. Especially when you're doing big projects. Like if you wanted to redo a dresser or something like that, right? If Plaid made it and Donna sold it, I would be already putting them in my projects. To be honest with you, I've been refraining.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I was looking on Michael's a couple of days ago, and I found out that if I put an order in for $99, I get free postage to here to Australia.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to take advantage of that box then, and try
Yeah, I
and
have to figure out what I want to spend $99 on.
Yeah, I know. I'm like that with Donna too, because Canadian shipping is crazy too. I can't get nothing up here without it. That box has cost me $50 just to get the shipping up here. That's it. Like I haven't bought anything yet, and it's cost me $50 Canadian to get it here. So when I do order,
Michaels have all the paints?
most of them here in Canada, but even our Canadian Michaels doesn't have sap. There's a few of them that they don't have. That's how I had to start learning how to create my own colors, is because Canadian stores didn't have them. So when I order from Donna, again, I order 3 saps. I order whatever colors I can get up here if I'm in a pinch. Like I try to order all my colors from her, but there's a time where you run out of a color and I have to get to Walmart to go grab it. Like especially white is usually what I run out of. And then because I'm doing paint parties and I'm running out of colors, and if I have to wait to an order, right, it's going to take a couple weeks to get up to me. And so I do try to stock up. I buy 3 of each color from Donna, and then I make that box count. So that way if I'm paying for shipping, then it's not going to be an empty box. Because there's not much difference to order a couple patterns and a few paints, and then if you ordered 12 paints and a couple packs of brushes and some stencils, and you know, you can make that box count, and then you notice there wasn't that much more for the shipping. Like there is some when it gets really heavy, weight differences, but wasn't much more. So definitely make sure that that box doesn't have any wasted bubble wrap space. You don't want to ship bubble wrap or paper,
No.
right? So yeah, that's what I do, and I just try. I have less orders, but when I do order, then I make it count.
Make it a good one.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's the challenges of even here in Canada. And then all I have is a Walmart that's very limited. And then I have about an hour drive for me to even get to a Michael's. So if I want something from Michael's, I have to, again, pay for shipping. I used to live in the city, 5 minutes away from Michael's. It was wonderful, but not anymore. So even myself, I'm challenged with art supply stuff in a small little town.
Yeah, I've got colours that I probably wouldn't have bought, except I wanted one colour and it came in a pack in a box or with multiple colours.
Mm-hmm.
So I've ended up with colours that I probably wouldn't have otherwise ordered.
Well, they'll be maybe used somehow, using them for mixing, using them for backgrounds. Sometimes we need to base coat something. You can use any color with. You know, you'll use them up maybe somehow. I've had some colors that I like, indigo. I don't know if you guys remember indigo. It's not a very common color. It's my new favorite.
Indigo blue, yeah.
I never used it. I never embraced it. And then lately I just got using it a little bit and I'm like, I really like that. It's actually like a darker peacock. So again, sometimes we just don't think that we might like it until we're maybe into a different season. Again, I never was really into the warm colors. I've always been a pink and purple girl. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll never use yellow ochre. I remember getting yellow ochre and going, ew, I don't like that yellow ochre. It's ugly. I don't like that yellow. I like nice bright color yellows. I like daffodil yellow. So, you know, again, our mind is like our favorite colors. But then once we start creating and then doing stuff in different seasons, and then you start to see the value of having those shades and how you can use them for mixing, then it might start opening up a little bit. You'll use them for sure. Eventually, somewhere. Even like I said, just to counteract the warm color, you want to drop it down, or you want to add more warmth to something. You know, you're going to use those other off colors. Did you jump on my color theory class yet, Anne?
On which one?
The color theory one.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it won't hurt you to jump ahead and jump on that if you like. And then
Right,
keep going. Because it's not really a lot of assignments. It's more knowledge and a video that you can watch.
Is that at the end? At the end of what?
Yeah, I gotta
right at
remind
the end of
myself. Yeah, I think it's after scrolls or tiny painting. Yeah, go down the list. You'll see color theory.
Okay. Yes.
And check it out. And then, yeah, you don't have to do them all in order. After you pass 6, you don't have to do them in order anymore. And it might be handy for you to watch that and get the notes and read it and understand the color theory a bit more. And then keep going back and playing with your pansy and then your tulips. And then if you're having color problems that you don't have the color in stock, maybe that color theory class will help you create new colors.
Yep, I'll do that. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because that's what it's all about, working with a limited palette.
Mm.
And yeah, because color theory, I love it. I used to deal a lot with hair dye because you come in, my hair is orange, I hate it. What am I gonna do? As a hairdresser, I had to know what color to put on your hair to counteract that orange to make you a nice platinum blonde, or a nice chestnut brown, or to change it and neutralize it, get rid of that red or orange that somebody doesn't like. And then, or if it's so drabby, how do I get the red or orange into it? Like, so there's a lot of canceling, neutralizing, and complementing, where you're adding more of the same. You're adding more to make it more drabby. You're going to keep adding more and more blue or purple. Or and then if you want to make it more goldy, you're going to get stronger in the warm tones into the reds and oranges instead of the yellow, because yellow is warm, but orange is warmer and red is even warmer. So understanding all the ranges of how strong that warmth is going to cancel out on the other side of the spectrum. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So especially with the warm, you really see the difference between yellow, orange, and red. And then you don't see it so much with red, purple, and blue, but I mean, that's what you have stronger values of that coolness that you have to fight off, so you might need the other side. So that's the complementing, and what the colors against the color wheel across it, and then beside it, right? And then those are, once you get a little bit more of that color concept of color theory, I dive right in deep in that one. There's lots of notes in that one that you can read as well. So there's a couple of videos there. I did one that you guys can see on my YouTube channel where I started playing around with, I made like, I don't know, 10 different colors of purple that day. Just playing with different colors, right? So, and then I dived in deeper in a class, which you guys can find on my website and it's a downloadable or part of my package deal. Right, so yeah, jump on that, and then maybe that'll help you again more with your color, because you've been really struggling with colors lately, not having all the ones we've been playing with, so hopefully that'll help. Alrighty.
Did you say that to create peacock, you put cobalt blue and aqua?
Thicket, and then just a little titch of aqua. Mostly like half and half cobalt and thicket. Mix those two together first. And then just once you have those two mixed together, if you want to brighten it up a little bit, when you don't mix it together, you get indigo. So when you add that little bit of aqua, it lightens it up a little bit and you get peacock.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I started playing around with the indigo a little bit more the other night, I'm like, that almost looks like the color I created the other night with Anne in class. Like, and that's all folk art is done, really. They have like your basic colors, and because people wanted the easy out of the box, grab it and go, they don't want to learn the color theory, and then that way they can sell more colors and more paint, because they're doing all the work for you. You don't have to think about it. And they're making money because you want 6 colors of green. So really all you need is maybe 2, and then all the other colors in the rainbow to start mixing and playing around, and then you can create your forest green, you can create your fresh foliage, yellow citron. You remember that one, Donna? Yellow citron's not around anymore. It was one of my favorites. Well, we can make it very easy with just adding a little bit of yellow into our citrus green. And we've got yellow citron. So yeah, definitely there's a lot of colors that they make that makes our life a lot easier. But I love playing dip and making more colors and then adding it to my blend and going and having all those variations, especially like the blue and the magenta to make our own Juneberry. And some petals are more blue and some petals are a little bit more pink, and then you've got the nice blend of the Juneberry, and then, so I love all that versatility of having different colors. I'm definitely not in the box type of person. I'm gonna push it, and when you look at the garden, it's not like that. There's all kinds of different shades and blends and variations of colors. Right. So yeah, I love color. I can get very passionate and talk about color all day. I did color analysis for some of my customers I used to do image consulting for. Which color is your wow color? What color can you wear? I have no makeup on, and I have my wow color on, so I don't need any makeup because I'm not. My face isn't looking drabby against something that's not like. Some people cannot wear black. It just makes them look really pale, right? So I used to study color and do that in my beauty industry for almost 35 years, 40 years of being in the beauty industry, doing makeup and color analysis and hair dye, makeup, like all different ways. It was always color, 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 color. And I got yellow under my eyes. How do I get rid of yellow? You know, so again, counteracting the yellow under your eyes taught me that I had to put, you know, you got purple under your eyes. Well, then I had to put mustard under your eye. You know, like just all these little tricks that I learned through the years in the beauty industry about color. Again, I could still see it all happening here. And then I studied a little bit. I thought, I'm doing all these weddings, and I thought I could make some extra money, maybe doing some corsages or some nice centerpieces for people's tables, or you know, stuff like that for the wedding parties. Right? I've already got the in. I'm doing their hair. I'm doing their makeup, so I can do their flowers too. So this was my mind, and I had a little once a week class that I could general knowledge kind of class, and I could have went and got more studies if I really wanted to get into floral, to be a florist. But in that, it was a 6-week class. Is that one of the high schools? You know, you can just general knowledge adult classes that you can take in the evening. And it was all about flower arrangements. And you had to actually use some wire around some really dainty, you know, some flowers really break easy. And they're talking about how to wire them. And they were also sharing with me at the time, you know, how to make them for your centerpiece, like there's different shapes, and talking about these triangles and round shapes and flat shapes and vertical shapes, and it all kind of stuck with me. So that's why it kind of made sense for me too, is to share some of what I learned from there and then kind of incorporate it into the painting world as an artist. So we're kind of being florists, but we're using this instead of a pair of scissors and a vase with water. So we still got to make it look like it flows and it has balance. And so Donna does teach a lot of that. She's always incorporating her triangles and her placements of her leaf directions, stuff like that. So I definitely I'm trying to dive in a little bit deeper and get into some bigger shapes with you guys. Trying to do something different and trying to be unique. Right? And share my little piece of what I can offer you guys. And then play with different brushes, our filbert brushes, our round brushes, our fan brushes, the new brushes that Donna has out now, the mop brushes and her smaller feather brushes. If you guys have them, then I definitely, you know, want to play around a little bit with them, with you guys in this series as well. Right, to create all these different fun filler type stuff and neat flowers that aren't always like my Japanese lanterns and some different stuff. Not so common.